11 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello and welcome to Election Brave with me, Carlos Kaloni. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Please stay for details. Now, Volta region is the heartbeat of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. The party has managed to win more than 80% of the region's votes since 1992. However, an analysis by Joy News Research Desk shows the region registered the lowest support for the NDC in the 2020 presidential elections, while the NPP managed to garner more votes. Isaac Kofije, our lead data research analyst, is here and has every detail regarding the region. Kofi, first tell us how the NDC dropped in vote in 15 constituencies in the Volta region.
Well, Carlos, just like you said, the Volta region is the vote bank of the NDC. It has 18 constituencies, and this year we are looking at more than 1 million registered voters who will be voting in this year's election in the Volta region. Now, if you take a look at the 7 regions that has more than 1 million registered voters, Volta region is one of them. It crossed the line this year in terms of the registration. Now, out of the 15 or the 18 constituencies in the Volta region, the NDC won all of them. But there were 15 constituencies that they actually dropped votes in terms of their vote share against the NPP, and that's what we'll be analyzing.
Okay.
But before that, let's look at how the Volta region has been voting since 1996 to the 2020 elections. And just like you see, this is a stronghold of the NDC. Why is it a stronghold? Because it's not just a place that the NDC win. When they win big. Just like you see in 1996, they won by 94.9%.
Where we represent the NDC.
The NDC, and blue is the MPP.
Okay.
Almost 95% of the total valid vote cast in the Volta region in 1996. But in 2000, we see there's a significant change or drop in that vote from 95 to somewhere around 87.5. And as you can see, they've always won above 80%. So if NDC is winning the Volta region, their threshold it doesn't go beyond 80%. They will definitely win above 80%. But in the 2020 general election, in terms of the presidential, something interesting happened in the Volta region that we need to tell the stories behind the numbers. What happened? We see the Volta region dropping from as high as 95% of the total valid vote cast to I think somewhere around 80, almost 85 or 84.8. Now see, the Volta region the NDC is on a decline in the Volta region from 91.4% in the 2012 election. That brought John Dramani Mahama to his first presidential, election win in 2012. But what we see is that right after 2012, the Volta region has been declining in terms of, the numbers from 91.4 to 87.7. Now we are talking about 84.8. So definitely, this is a stronghold or a region that the NDC know they will win definitely, but they will be concerned about the drop in the vote. Not just the NDC dropping, but you can see, if you look at it from the blue side, the NPP is on a good momentum. They used to get just somewhere around 4.4% of the total valid vote cast in the Volta region. Now we are talking about 14.1%.
They should be
adding more than 10 percentage points since 1996. This is a stronghold of the NDC. And so if you are on a good run, on a good trajectory, or you are increasing in votes, it's something that we need to analyze and tell the story behind the numbers. But why did the NDC drop from somewhere 91.4 to 87.7 to 84.8 in the 2020 election? Let's tell the story. Now, if you look at this, chart that talks about the 15 constituencies out of 18. NDC actually won all of them. But they dropped votes in 15
That's
more
significant.
than 80% of the constituencies in the Volta region dropped their vote or their support for the NPP, the NDC. They won all right, but they did not get, if you compare the same relative to 2016.
That's for the 2020 election.
Exactly. Their vote share in the 2020 election relative to that of 2016 was low in 15 of them. There were two constituencies, Afajato South and I think one of the other constituencies that improved their vote for the NDC. But Ketu North, Ketu South, who talk about all the, talk about all of them, they actually dropped their support for the NDC in the 2020 general election. There was one constituency that did not change in terms of how they voted in 2016 versus how they voted in 2020. This, for me, is what I was talking about. So we know of the 15 that dropped their vote for the NDC, or NDC had a decline in the share of vote. Now, we decided to now glean the top 10 from that list of 15 constituencies. Now, that top 10, just look at it. I mean, it starts from Pando. Pando drops by 1.4 percentage points compared to 2016. Agotime dropped by 2.9. Anglo, 3.4. Adaklu. These are all traditional, green belt zones for the NDCs. 4.1. Ho West, 4.4. North Dai, 5.2. Keta North, Ketu North. This is a big constituency for the NDC. Of course,
yes.
Winning, exactly.
A lot of vote in this particular.
Absolutely. It's just like your Mensha South or Bantama or Bekwai in the Ashanti region for the NDC. They dropped by 5.2 percentage point. Keta itself dropped by 6.8 percentage point. If you compare what the NDC got in 2020 versus 2016, that was very significant. Akachi North, 10.4. Now, the big one for me is Hohoi, where they dropped by 18.9 percentage points. Wow. Now, I will show you the graph that tells the story of both Akachi North and Hohoi, and I'm sure viewers will really understand how the NDC actually dropped. This is Akachi North. Just look at it from 2012 to 2016. NDC used to get 90.1% of the total valid vote cast, as against 8.1%. That was 2012 when John Dramani Mahama came onto the ballot for the first time. Now 2020, just look at how we are seeing this.
Almost 20.
MPP has now moved from 8.1 to 19.7. Very, very significant. And as you can see, the gap was really wide in 2012 and 2016. But just like you're trying to do, very close in the 2020 election. So going into this year's election, this is the outlook for, Akachi North. Akachi North, interesting, but let me show you the last one, Hohoi. And Hohoi, we are trying to look at it from 1996, because this is a traditional, constituency in the Volta region. Very interesting. And just like Akachi North, Hohoi is predominantly NDC. But the story is that as of 1996, they used to give NDC 94.3% of the total valid vote cast, as against 5.1% for the MPP. Now, the story is changing. The reason why we are saying Volta region, some of the constituencies are becoming less green, is because of the drop in some of these numbers. 94.3, now we are talking about 69.4.
That's huge.
Huge drop. Now, just look at, in just 2 election periods, NDC drops from 82.5 to 69.5, losing more than 10 percentage points. In fact, close to 20 percentage points. That is really significant. Not just the NDC on a decline, but see what is happening at the blue side. You can see MP exactly. Almost. It's there already. 30% in the previous election, which is the 2020 election. They've been able to move from 5.1% of the vote cast to 29.8. And as you can see, the gap is really closing in Hohoi. I don't know the magic they are doing there, but it's, Akachi North, Akachi South, Hohoi are all interesting places or constituencies that we are really looking at in the upcoming election. And so, I mean, if you're looking at the Volta region, it's still the vote bank of the NDC. They hold that constituency, but the story the data is trying to
figure
is that it's not the same as let's say as it used to be 1996. Absolutely, and this for me is interesting going into this year's election.
Carlos. Thank you so much. Isaac Kofioje is with our research desk. Now, moving on, the Electoral Commission has indicated that it will do final distribution of electoral materials to the rest of the regions by the close of the week. Distribution of ballot papers to Northern, Bono and Bono East regions have experienced some delays since the EC began distribution to the various regions 2 weeks ago. But the EC chairperson, Madam Jane Mensah, has been providing some updates on that at a meeting with the National Election Security Task Force, which just ended a while ago. My colleague James Aveji has joined us live with details. James, what has the saying on the distribution so far been?
Well, Carlos, the EC chair in her address noted that out of the 16 regions, about 13 of them so far have received the ballot papers, and 8 of those have also received the biometric verification devices that will be used for the election. She's been providing some timeline on when the rest of the 3 regions, as well as 8 in terms of the ballot papers and the biometric verification devices, will be receiving theirs as we prepare for December 2nd special voting. We can listen to Jane Mensah address that issue at the meeting today.
We are also near completion with our ballots, the preparation of our ballots for the presidential and parliamentary elections. And all the ballots, with the exception of the Northern region, the Bono region, and the Bono East, have been disseminated to our police armories across the country. I'm well aware that the ballot papers for the Northern region, the Bono and Bono East regions, will be disseminated to the police armories this afternoon. And we'd like to thank the police for their support, and also the Army for their support, and remaining with us throughout this process. As you may be aware, in each of our printing houses, we have not only the political party agents, but we also have members of the police service and the Army service accompanying us and observing the process along with us. And so we'd like to thank you for your presence at the various printing houses, and also for accompanying us to the various armories. We'd also like to thank you for safekeeping of our ballots in the various police armories across the country. It's instructive to note that our biometric verification devices are also being prepared, and we are confident that by this weekend all the biometric verification devices will be safely lodged in the police armories across the country. As we speak, we have over 8 regions. The biometric verification devices have been sent to over 8 regional armories, and they are in safe keeping there. It's important to highlight that the Commission has recruited close to 210,000 temporary officials across various categories, from returning officers to deputy returning officers, presiding officers, polling assistants in all the 40,900 plus polling stations across the country. And as we speak, they are undergoing extensive training in all the constituencies.
Now, James, the IGP has also been given some update on their level of preparedness. Tell us more.
Well, the IGP is leading the National Election Security Task Force, made up of all the other security agencies across the country. He said as far as they are concerned, they are ready, barring all the engagement they've been having with all the other election stakeholders. We can listen to him on how much prepared they are for December 2nd as well as 7 for the elections.
Madam Chair, you have told us all the work that you have been doing. We are aware of it because we have been working each journey with you. And in terms of our preparation, for the benefit of the public and the generality of Ghanaians, we want to also assure them that, in fact, we are over ready as the security agencies in support of the excellent job that you are doing. And we'll do all what it takes, and I repeat, all what it takes to ensure that this country continues to be at peace with herself. And in our readiness, Madam Chair, we want to also say that we will protect every Ghanaian and we will protect every stakeholder in these elections. And more importantly, we will protect you and your staff as they go about their constitutional duty of ensuring that the election is executed to the benefit of Ghanaians. So that assurance we want to give to you and to your staff for them to feel free to undertake their assignment without any hindrance or without any fear, because we will have your back as security agencies. Madam Chair, also we are here today as a way of debriefing, as we have always done. We've done a lot of work when it came to the printing of the ballots and the transportation of the ballots across the country. And like you rightly indicated, we are 95% done. And with the BVDs, we are also almost 50% done. And looking at the timetable that we are working with, we are sure that within the shortest possible time, over the next couple of days, we'll be done with all this, and all these facilities and logistics will be in place at where it matters. So we are here to look at that debriefing, and I know after this session, our technical team will meet your technical team, then we'll look at it also from that angle. That has been very successful from where we sit. And once again, the commendation goes to you and your team, and we are always going to be there in support of the good job that you are doing.
Away from the Electoral Commission, independent presidential candidate and leader of the new force, Nana Kwame Bediako, has pledged to drive Ghana's transformation through industrialization. Campaigning in the Greater Accra region, he addressed traders at the Anya market in the Anyaso constituency, urging them to reject other candidates and choose him for a prosperous and innovative future ahead of the 2024 general elections.
Be the voice and the power behind it. And indeed, and a member person who say, a fee way, why would ban it to an amohono? A yawa would be an it to an amohono. A yawa papa be net to an amohono. Then, mom, your leaders know my dear Shamo. And no may be an SSO Yamagana, and no man to me and yet. But the mama may blame you more. Because you can say blame you. You can say make excuses. Young to me call your name. A quiet to say call your man is a day. As I say, I drink say. As I say, as Samu. As I say, as Samu. A mamusha. So Babunu. So Mamusha, as a Babunu to my ways. Who's a Nijabana? Who's a Nijabana? We are happy. You're 12 days before you vote. It's so kind there. Because it's 12 more days for this nation to change. So my way is 12 more days. And it will change forever. And ever. Because never do I knew that say or be best sorry about her. Sir and Nippon Yenua and answer parties 2 years. I'm not controlling Ghana for the past 32 years. I'm going to be there with and so the make a say 12 days from now there is going to be a change in this country.
Now, my colleague Collins Frimpong is with Nana Kwame Bediako and joins us with more. Collins, what more can you report?
So, Carlos, right after Kenya goes market, you also go to Abdul market where Chada is ahead of the 2024 presidential election. And he met the market women there and also the taxi drivers at Abdul market. And she promised to build a new market at the market for them in order to help them so that they do not sell on the sporting stand again. Apart from that, at the market, Chada or Nana Kwame urged the people there, he urged the people not to sell their votes, more or less like vote buying. He urged them that any candidate that comes there to ask them that they should take the vote for the vote partner. About now, So, this
All right, my colleague Collins there, giving our details with that particular campaign. Now, moving on, NDC presidential candidate John Mahama is promising to boost cocoa, oil production and revive the rail sector in the Western region. He also announced plans. He says he will transform the lives of fishermen there. Speaking during his tour of the Western region, he assured new recruits of the Ghana Police Service to disregard propaganda, suggesting they will be sacked under the new NDC government. Maxwell Agbagba has more in the following report.
Oh, yeah, NDC, Beba. Hey.
John Mahama singing in the Shama constituency during a mini rally as part of the first day of his Western region tour. After engaging with the clergy and traditional leaders, he visited 7 constituencies. The Western region, which has 17 parliamentary seats, is currently split, with the NPP holding 9 seats and the NDC holding 8. Addressing supporters in the coastal communities, John Mahama outlined measures to support fishermen. If he was able to scam God with his national cathedral promise, then people of Shama, who are we? I understand the big hole is still there. Wherever a future NDC government will find the funds to construct a hospital for you, we will do it.
Yeah, you better go to the hospital no. You better be see my Shama for. Shama for and then me jina ha. After for a walk Ghana hanging na me shemobo. You be see landing beach committees ni ye na premix no. You better be demon some. Na mo akasa mo achemwa there.
When we come, we will reconstitute the London Beach Committee so that the premix fuel will come to you directly. I know Ghana is not in a good financial position, but I think you deserve a harbor.
And so, Shama, Oshe Senya Mudi Akotine wo Afareju Manuma na esefata se ye fishing harbor e wo Shama so.
Some Western region traditional leaders expressed concerns about the underdevelopment of the Western region. She said, let's feel that the Western region is also part of this country. Look at all the resources that come from the Western region, yet we do not receive any benefits. So we beg, our water bodies are being destroyed. We can't catch fish, and all our roads are in terrible condition. John Mahama promised to prioritize the developmental needs of the region, including reviving the rail sector and boosting cocoa and oil production. He also assured newly recruited Ghana Police Service personnel under the current government that the future NDC administration will not dismiss them.
Police, I just said recruit for.
We have new recruits, and they are going around telling them that if the NDC wins, they will be dismissed. I want to tell them that it's not true. Before they came, we had recruited people into the military and the police, and they sacked all of them. That is why they think we will do the same thing if we are elected. I want to assure the recruits they will not be sacked.
You're still watching Election Brief here with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay.